Hey guys, very quickly we're going to look at the external features of your flowering plants, and I'll be taking you around everything back to back. Are you ready? Yeah, let's go together. This is our lesson 17. We're going to sit down tight and look at the external features that relate to your flowering plants. The first thing is, what is it about flowering plants that I should remind you of? You know, your angiosperms are popularly called your flowering plant, right? Oh yes. So don't forget that flowering plants or angiosperms are distinguished by their ability to reproduce sexually through flowers. That's why we call angiosperm flowering plants. Your gymnosperms are not flowering plants. Angiosperms are the ones that are flowering plants. Why? Because they have the ability to reproduce sexually through their what? Flowers. And you must not forget this, that after pollination, what will happen next? Fertilization will take place. So after fertilization, what happens? Angiosperms, they produce seeds. And the seeds that they produce are enclosed in their what? In their fruits. I've explained the whole of this aspect, right? Oh yeah, very important. And I'd like you to look at this very quickly. NECO 2014 question 3. Look at the amazing question that was brought. The question all the way says, what distinguishes angiosperm from other plant group? What differentiates angiosperm from others? Option A says possession of seeds. Angiosperms have seeds. Very important. Gymnosperms also have seeds. So this cannot be the distinguishing feature that will differentiate angiosperm uniquely from others. Option B says presence of flowers. Option C says ability to photosynthesize. Of course, a lot of plants can photosynthesize. And then option D says production of spores. In fact, this one is totally out of the way. Angiosperms don't produce spores, right? So what's the correct answer? Presence of what? Flowers. Option what? B. That's why angiosperms are also called your what? Your flowering plants, because of the presence of flowers that they have. You get that very quickly. Please don't forget that a typical flowering plant has two main systems. And what are the two main systems that you see your flowering plants? Of course, they have what is called the root system, and they have what is called your what? Your shoot system. Which one is the root system? Which again want to go a typical flowering plants. How many main systems are we going to see there? Two. The root system and the shoot system. Which one is the root system? Which one is the shoot system? Now look at this very quickly. You can see that the one above the dotted line is separate from the one below the dotted line. The one below is the root system, and in the root system you only have roots. So I can boldly say that everything from here like this downwards, what are they going to form? They are going to give rise to your what? Your root system. Very quickly. The ones above, there are a couple of them, but all of them together, they form the shoot system. What will form the shoot system? Number one, you have what is called the stem. The stem is a component of the word shoot system. Number two, we have what is called the leaves. Number three, the seed. Number four, the fruit. And number five, the flower. Shall you see the whole of this guy like this put together, the whole of them, what will they form? They will form what is called the what? The shoot system. So how many systems do we have in your plant? Two. The root system and the shoot system. What make up the root system is the roots. What make up the shoot system? Your stem, your leaves, your seed, your fruits, and your flower. Oh yeah, now follow me, I'll show you something. If we're looking at the root system, what should I know about the root system in particular? First, I'd like you not to forget this, that the root system developed from the radicle of the embryo. What develops from the radicle? It is the root system. And the radicle, of course, it is found in the where? In the soil. Okay, now look at this very quickly. From this diagram, you can see a Jamb will never forgive you if you forget this. What can you see? Number one is the radicle. Number two is called the plumule. The radicle is what we go and give rise to the future roots. The entire root system developed from the radicle. The entire shoot system developed from the where? From the plumule. So the future roots is the radicle now. The future shoot system is the plumule that you are seeing now. If you plant your maize, you commit it to the soil, what will happen? After some days, you see that something will start to germinate and come upward. Before you see the one that is coming upwards first, there is that part that has gone into the soil. The one that goes into the soil is the what? Radicle. The one that comes out is the what? The plumule. Does it make sense? Answer this question now. NECO 1998 question 7. And the powerful question say, in a typical flowering plant, radicle give rise to. R for radicle. R is what starts your radicle. R for the root system. So radicle will give rise to the root system. Option A say root system. Option B say shoots. Option C say vascular system. Option D says epidermal system. What is the answer? Of course, now root system. Option A is the correct answer. And you're out of there, bro. Hold on a bit. The complete series of classes, right, as far as your syllabus is concerned regarding your Jamb and Waec, everything has been covered in details for you in the LearnLifts app. And guess what? The sweet part is that you have access to your CBT, right? You have access to your video lessons. You have access to your notes. You have access to your past questions. Everything from the beginning to the end is directly in the LearnLifts app for you. So all you have to do is just mark down to Play Store or App Store and download the LearnLifts app where you follow all your classes from the beginning to the end. A quick one before we move. Let's get back to class. Enjoy. You feel that? Now, don't forget this very quickly with me. When we come to the shoot system very quickly, again, there are two things you should pay attention to. What and what? Radicle and the what? Plumule. Of course, what we give rise to the shoot system, it is the what? The plumule. And don't forget is that the shoot system developed from the plumule of the embryo is coming up from the plumule. And it is found above the soil. And more interestingly, is that the shoot system consists of your what? Your stem, your leaves, your flower. Is that all? Your stem, your leaves, your flower, your fruit, and your seed. All of them put together, they will form the what? The shoot system. That's the 5 of them. And please, GCE 2000 question 39, they brought this sweet question that says, in a typical flowering plant, what develops from the plumule of the embryo? What will develop from the plumule? Option A says it is the roots that will develop from the plumule. Just the play. Option B says it is the seeds that will develop from the plumule. It is the shoot system. And then option D says it is the fruit. We can't go, if you say fruits and seed and fruits, you are also correct. But you see, the shoot system encapsulates everything. Are you getting it now? Of course, the leaves are in the shoot system. The branches are in the shoot system. The stem are in the shoot system. The fruits, the seed, all of them are inside the what? The shoot system. That's why we just go with what? Option C, the correct answer. Does it make sense? If you get that very quickly with me, let's dwell on the root system properly. If we're looking at the root system, so out of the 2 systems now, we want to dwell on one in this whole class, and that's the what? The root system. What is it about the root system that I should know? Don't forget this very quickly, that the root system grows in the soil and it excludes the underground stems. Anything that has to do with stem is what? Shoot system. So I will not want to include underground stem. There are some stems that you see inside the soil. Those type of stems are called underground stem. Despite they are in the soil, we don't call them roots. Rather, we call them what? Underground stem. And those underground stem, they serve as the perennation organs. What did I call it? Perennation. What did I call them? They are called the what? The perennation organ. Perennation. P-E-R-N-N-A-T-I-O-N. These are the perennation organ. What do? The perennation organ, right? They have a lot of function. They can serve as storage organ. So that if there is adverse condition, they can supply food, right, to the plant, and the plant is not going to die. They store food, they store water, they store every necessary thing that the plant needs to survive during what? Adverse condition. These are the perennation organ. In other words, can I classify perennation organs as part of the root system? Never. What did I say? Never. Kajikuro, say they hear me now. Okay, very importantly, I'd like you not to forget that there are 2 types of root system. How many types? 2. Number 1 is called the tap root system. Number 2 is called the fibrous root system. What and what? Tap root and fibrous root. Tap root and come on, tap root and fibrous roots. So under root system, how many are they? 2. The tap root system and the what? Fibrous system. Fibrous root system. Again, please, your root system, they grow in the soil. Do they include perennation organ or they exclude perennation organ? They exclude the perennation organ. A good example is your underground stem. They exclude all of those guys. Is it making sense now? Please don't forget this. If we are dwelling on the tap root system, you know we have the tap root system And we also have the fibrous root system. If you are dwelling on the tap root system alone, what should I know? First, don't forget that the tap root system, right, is a characteristic of your dicotyledonous plants. Yeah, by now you should know this one. I don't explain now. I just have anything less than 350 in Jamb. I go knock you. Tell me that, sir. My Jamb score is 349. I go knock you. Now follow me. Your taproot system is a characteristic of your what? Your dicotyledonous plants. You know, we have your dicot and your monocot, right? Please, which one is your taproot system? Dicotyledonous plant. For example, your mango tree is a dicotyledonous plant, right? The roots need to go deep into the soil, right? Oh yes, they need to go deep into the soil. Your orange, they are all under dicot. Their roots need to go deep into the what? Soil. Are you getting it now? Maize is under monocot. And don't forget this very quickly, that another thing about your taproot system is that it features one main root. So what you see is one main root. You see, as this root is coming down, there is one like this. This guy, it is the what? The main root. What is it called? The main root that grows deep, and then it now produces small lateral branches. So you see all these guys like this that are now coming out. They are the what? Lateral what? Branches that you see there. So it has one main root and other small branches that we call the what? Lateral branches or lateral roots, since they are roots. So one main root that is going down and your smaller lateral roots, that's what form your entire taproot system. But I'll tell you another important thing about it too. Don't forget GCE 2011 question 18. They brought this powerful question all the way that says which root system is characteristic of dicotyledonous plants? Which root system? Is it your fibrous root system? Never. You know if it be the answer. Is it your adventitious root system? Never. Now listen, as we move, I'm going to explain adventitious root system for you. A lot of people mistake adventitious root system for your fibrous root system. You now hear fibrous root system or adventitious root system. You are wrong. You are wrong. Option C says tap root system. Option D says climbing root system. What is the answer? Which root system do you see in your dicots? They are mainly your what? Your tap root system. Option what? C is the correct answer, and you're out of there. Water go, yeah, let's go. Another important thing is this, your fibrous root system. What is it that we should know? We have looked at tap root system, right? Oh yes. What about your fibrous root system? Don't forget this, that it is the characteristic of your monocotyledonous plant. Oh yes, so it is in monocot that you see your what? Your fibrous root system. And I'd like you not to forget is that it consists of a mass of roots. Mass. Yeah, abundance. Oh, look at this diagram very well now. What can you see? Mass of roots, right? From the base of the what? Stem. With several main roots. Every root is looking like main roots because all of them are similar. And they give off numerous smaller what? Branches. Are you getting it now? They are giving off smaller numerous branches that are now protruding from them. What do you see in your fibrous root system? It consists of your what? Your mass of roots that are rising from the base of the what? Stem. If you look at your maize, for example, right? As you look at the stem of your maize plant, what happened? You now start seeing roots of almost equal sizes. All of them are now pushing out like this. There is no major one that is going straight into the soil. What type of root system do you call this? It is called your what? Your fibrous root system. If you understand that very quickly with me, I'd like you not to forget this. Look at NECO 1997 question 22. They brought this powerful question that says, which of the following is a characteristic of the fibrous root system? Which one is the character? Now let's go. Option A says one main root growing deep. Never. That's tap roots. Option B says mass of roots are rising from the base of the stem. Hooray! Option C says roots are broad and fleshy. Option D says roots are primarily used for storage. What is the answer? Mass of roots that are rising from the base of the stem. Option what? B is the answer. And you're out of there. Bro, she has seen it. So you get that very quickly with me, please. Take notes that both the tap root system and your fibrous root system, the two of them, they have what is called your root cap. What did I call it? Root cap. What did I call it? Root cap. And that root cap is at the tip of the roots. And now look at it now. This area here, this is the tip of the roots. Sure, you are seeing it now. That end, that terminal point, that's the tip of the roots. And that tip of that root is where you have root cap. Are you getting it? It protects the growing region. What does it do? It protects the what? The growing regions. Why must the root cap go and protect the growing regions? Because inside that growing regions, there is what we call your actively dividing cells. You dey feel that? What do they have? Actively dividing cells. All these actively dividing cells are called your meristematic tissues. What are they called? Meristematic tissues. So, among the areas where I will see my meristematic tissues, where do I see them? Number one, the root cap. Are you getting it now? That's where you have your meristematic tissues. Because these meristematic tissues are actively dividing cells. Are you getting it? The more they divide actively, what happens? The more the roots continue to grow. If you cut that root cap, there is tendency that the growth can be truncated. When we get to growth in plants, I'll teach you. Don't forget this very quickly, that your root hairs, there is also what we call your root hairs. Where do we see them? Above the root tip. So above the root tip, you see your root hairs that absorb water and nutrients from the soil. Now come, listen carefully to this. From this diagram, what can I see? I'll give you 3 things here. Number one is called your root cap. That root cap, where are they found? They are found at the root tip. At the tip of the roots, what do you have there? Your root cap, right? And it protects the growing region. Why does the root cap have to protect the growing region? Because that growing region contains meristematic tissues. And those meristematic tissues are actively dividing cells. Number 2 thing you are going to see is called your main roots. Of course, it's that main root that will go down into the soil, right? And protruding from those main roots, excluding the root cap, you now see what is called your root hairs. What are the functions of the root hairs? They absorb water and minerals from the soil. If you understand that, bro, no time. Look at this powerful question. NECO 2017 question 43. All the way, the question says, what is the primary function of root hairs? Root hairs, root hairs, root hairs. Filama catch you. Option A, anchoring the plants. Baby girl, can that be the answer? Never. Good, you are doing well. Ross, option B says absorption of water and mineral salts. Can that be the answer? Are you doubting it? Option C, photosynthesis. Is that the answer? No. Clap for him. Option D says producing new roots. Can that be the answer? That's not the major thing they're asking us. No. Beautiful. Clap for her. So what is the answer? Absorption of water and mineral salt. You are correct. Option B is the answer. Does it make sense? Together very quickly with me, look at 2019 question 17, the broadly switch question. What is the role of the root cap? Your root cap, what is their role? What do they do? Option A says to store nutrients. Your root cap will store nutrients. Just the blade. Option B says to protect the growing region of the root tip. Okay, now. Option C says to assist in photosynthesis. And then option D says to anchor the plant firmly. What is the answer? Good. Clap for yourself. To protect the growing region of the what? Root tip. Why? Because the root cap contains meristematic tissue. And the meristematic tissue is the region of what? Actively dividing cells. So what they do is that they protect the what? The growing regions of the what? Root tip. That makes B the correct answer. If you get that very fast, please, there is what is called your adventitious roots. We have looked at taproot system and we have looked at your what? Your fibrous root system. Which one is your adventitious root? Now listen carefully. Where does taproot develop from? And where does your roots develop from? I told you your entire roots, they develop from the way radicle. Shoots we develop from the way plumule. Abi, your adventitious roots, they arise or they develop from other parts of the plant other than the radicle. Now, adventitious roots, these guys are roots normally, but they are now developing from other parts of the plant and not the what? The radicle. Oh, anything that develops from the radicle is the root. When you don't have mind to go and develop from any other part of the plant apart from the radicle, what are you? Adventitious roots. You can see that there are roots around this region, right? Oh yes, all these roots that you are seeing, and you can see that this guy is even giving rise to plantlets. from the leaf, developing a new plant, developing from the leaf. Now, those roots now, are you getting it? Around those plants that are developing from the leaf, what do you call those roots? Adventitious roots. Adventitious roots arise from other part of the plant other than the radicle. So if you develop from the stem, anything that make roots to develop from the stem, are you getting it? What do you call that type of roots? Adventitious roots. Look at this very quickly with me, very fast. Let me explain. Let's say a tree, this is your tree, and the tree is growing. Then the tree bends to the soil. Are you getting it now? The tree decided to bend and then touch the soil, and then it now started growing back. At this region where it's touching the soil, you can now see some roots coming out from here. Please, all these roots that are they coming from the radicle? No, they are developing from the stem, because that stem is making contact with the soil, right? That type of root system is called your adventitious roots. Are you getting it now? Please, what are the examples of your adventitious roots? A good example is your prop roots. Your prop roots that you see in your base, or roots that you see in your stem tubers, or roots in your rhizomes, around your rhizomes, your bulbs, and then your culms. All of these are adventitious roots. For the last time, what are adventitious roots? Adventitious roots, they develop from any other part of the plant except the radicle. Does it make sense? Period. That's all. You get that very quickly with me, bro. What are the characteristics of roots that we must know? Oh, yes. The characteristics of roots are very important that you should pay attention to them. Number one character is that roots, they grow underground. How do they grow underground, right? Except for modified aerial roots. How do roots grow? They grow underground, right? Except those ones that are now modified. Number two character of roots is that roots lack buds. B-U-D-S. What do roots lack? They lack buds. They lack buds. They lack buds. They lack buds. I will explain as we move. Number three, roots end in cap. So this terminal portion of the roots, what is it called? Is it not the root cap? So roots, they end in cap, but stems, they end in what? Bud. One of the big difference between your roots and your stem is that roots, we always end in what? Cap. Root cap, but stem, we end in what? Bud. Does it make sense? Okay, look at this very quickly. Let's say this is your leaf, right? Diagram of your leaf. And then this guy here now is more like your twig, right? Where it is anchoring itself to. Now, which one is your bud? This guy that you are seeing here is your bud. What is a bud? A bud is an undeveloped embryonic shoot. Write it down. Want to go? What is a bud? A bud is what? An undeveloped. Are you getting it now? Embryonic shoot. Want to go? What is a bud? A bud is an undeveloped embryonic shoot. Come on, undeveloped embryonic shoot. In other words, you can see this bud here is trying to gain expression. It's not yet developed. It's not a shoot that is developed yet. So undeveloped embryonic shoot is called what? Bud. So if bud is shoot that is undeveloped, what business does it now have with roots? No business. So want to go? Your roots, do they have bud or they lack bud? They lack bud. It is in stem, you now be hearing things like your it is in your shoot system, you now be hearing things like your your bud. Does it make sense? Your roots, how do they end? They end in cap, but stems, they end in what? In bud. If you get that very quickly with me and you understand that, another character is that roots do not contain chlorophyll. No, you will not see roots and see chlorophyll. Number 5 character is that your roots have unicellular root hairs. They have root hairs normally, but they are what? Unicellular. And stems and leaves have multicellular root hairs. Again, your stem and your leaves, what do they have? Multicellular what? Hairs. It's what you see around them. But your roots have what? Unicellular what? Root hairs. Another character is that your roots lack nodes and antinodes. Nodes and antinodes are characters of your stem. They have no business with your words, your roots. If you get that very quickly with me, no stress. Look at 2019 question 17 NECO question. The question says, what is the role of the root cap? Root cap, what will be their role? Option A says to store nutrients. No. Option B says to protect the growing region of the root tip. Option C says to assist in photosynthesis. Option D is to anchor the plant firmly. Of course, we have answered this question. What is the answer? To protect the growing region of the root tip. Option B is the answer. And you're out of there. If you get that very quickly with me, bro, What are the functions of roots? Very fast. I'll give you 3 functions of roots. Number 1 function of roots you must know is that they absorb water. What do they do? Absorb water and dissolved mineral salts from the soil. They absorb water and dissolved mineral salts from the what? Soil. That's number 1. Number 2 function is that they anchor the plant firmly to the soil. Anchorage. Wait, what absorb water in your roots in particular? Are they not the root hairs? Oh yes. Anchorage of the plant firmly to the soil. Every part of the roots, they are involved in that. And then number 3, modified roots can store food. Yes, so modified roots can do what? Store food. Aid in vegetative reproduction, right? Also assist them for climbing. It also helps them for breathing in waterlogged soil, and then provide what? Extra support. All of these are the functions of your roots. Want to go? Give me the 3 functions of roots. Number 1, absorb water and dissolve minerals, salts from the what? Soil, and that function is carried out by your what? Your root hairs. Number 2, anchor the plant firmly to the soil. Every one of them join their hands together to do that. Number 3, modified roots can do what? They can store food. Modified root can aid in vegetative reproduction. Modified root can assist in climbing, right? It helps them for breathing in waterlogged soil. It also provides what? Extra support. If you get this, that means you have done very well. Bro, answer this question for me fast. NECO 2015, question 19. The question says, which of the following is not a function of your roots? Which one is not a function of the roots? Option A says absorption of water. Yes, so they absorb water. Option B says photosynthesis. Option C says anchor the plants. Right? Roots have to anchor the plant. Option D says food storage. Of course, photosynthesis have more business to do with your leaves than your roots. Option what? B is the answer. Which of this is not a function? If you get all of this very quickly, guess what? I'll see you in the next class shortly. We're going to look at the types of your modified roots. And we're going to dwell on the modified roots, look at their various types, one after the other. For the now, peace out. Bye-bye. Hope you've enjoyed this class. Guess what? To follow up for more classes, just download the LearnLift app, whether on Play Store or App Store, and then follow up your classes. You must do extremely well. I'll see you in class. Bye-bye.